Oh, like a,
It's tech issue.
yeah,
Yeah. I think
or like
so.
a channel.
Really. You don't have any money, but I don't need to call city. We did. It's gonna be. Listen,
Very good. Yeah, I'm ready for the sunrise. He has to. He's in your own.
There is. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's sitting next to Tom.
Yeah.
I think
Hold on, it's this side. This is the first time I'm not gonna have a nervous breakdown. You know, I was thinking, so.
Music's usually like here, music stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm like.
So you're in the military. You go right to the.
So who's the right?
Yeah, there you go. That gives you more room. We're just reorganizing a little.
Right, so.
I don't have any. Well, then love space, because I love space. It's a.
These are mine.
They're a little
There's some money.
Oh. Yeah. It's big fun to go. I have to leave y'all at 9:15. I would be wrong on your side. Yeah, the morning night. Looks like. So I have to go over. What time? I need to go get my mom by 9:30. Because it's at 11.
Oh, I thought you said it's 9.
So I might, you're the code supervisor.
Yeah.
I'm not your critic. I might
Are now.
pass it off to you.
Congratulations.
We had one. I just want to.
Is your mom okay?
I'm fine. I'm going to a funeral, but I'm taking her to over on his son. Forever. I don't know. We,
You have.
oh, it's 8:30. Oh, hi, good morning. It's 8:30. We will go ahead and get started. I'm gonna apologize in advance. I have to scoot out for a funeral at 9:15, but Vice Chair Santiago will step in if need be. This is our Board of Directors meeting for Wednesday, March 25th. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the February 11th Citrus Connection meeting minutes.
So move.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. I'll open up now for public comment. If there's anyone wishing to address the Board of Directors for Citrus Connection, Lambhead, please feel free to step up. Anyone? Morning, seeing none. We'll be no Anderson, who's here from Malden and Jenkins. Hi, Lena, how are you? Every year we get to visit with you. That's right.
This is on.
You're good.
Okay, all right.
It's to record.
All right.
Sorry.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. Appreciate you having me here this morning. My name is Daniel Anderson. I'm the audit partner with Malden and Jenkins, and I'm here to present the results of the district's 2025 fiscal year end audit. You should have two items that were handed out to you just barely ago. One's the audited financial statements themselves. The other is a communication to governance that we have at the conclusion of the audit that we refer to as our auditor's discussion and analysis. My presentation is going to focus on this document. And I'll kind of tell you what page numbers I'm on because I'm going to jump around a little bit just for the sake of everyone's time here. I will start on page 2 with just a little bit of brief information about Malden and Jenkins. We have served as the district's auditor for several years now. We are a large regional audit organization with offices throughout the Southeast. Your audit was performed from our Bradenton, Florida office location. Our governmental niche is the firm's largest single niche, serving over 750 governments within that footprint. The only other thing that I'll point out is we have extensive experience with single audits, which the district had 2 that I'll cover here momentarily. But a lot of experience with transit audits, transportation, federal transit, association audits. So a lot of experience with the programs that we were looking at and the performance of that. Jumping to page 4, this page just really summarizes the independent auditor's report. We have issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest form of assurance that we can render. We performed our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards as well as government auditing standards to support that opinion. Ultimately, management's responsible for the financial statements. Our responsibility is to express those opinions based on our audit procedures. Moving to page 5, in accordance with government auditing standards, we do issue a separate report that we refer to as the Yellow Book report, and that's our report of the tests of controls and compliance with respect to laws, rules, and regulations. This is a negative assurance report, so we only identify findings if there are any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. Happy to report that there were none for the 2025 fiscal year. I mentioned the performance of a single audit. That's a compliance audit with respect to your federal and state programs. So as the district spent more than $1 million in federal awards, that threshold actually increased for the 2025 fiscal year, and over $750,000 in state financial assistance. We did have to perform a single audit for each federal and state programs. We had one major program that was federal, one major program that was state. And happy to report no findings or recommendations to bring to your attention with respect to that testing that was performed. Jumping over to page 6, like the financial statements, management's responsible for the accounting policies and procedures that are identified in note 1 of the financial statements. We evaluated them in performing the audit and determined them to be appropriate in accordance with the accounting standards. The financial statements do include a few significant estimates. The most significant for you guys is going to be with respect to your net pension liability. That's based on actuarial assumptions. All of the financial statement disclosures have been reviewed and ensure that they have the required information in accordance with the accounting standards. No significant difficulties encountered in performing the audit. Rhonda, Daisy, Debbie, they're always great to work with. They provide us the information we need in a timely manner, and it really helps facilitate the audit process. So we appreciate them for that. We had no disagreements with management over the application of any accounting policies or procedures. At the conclusion of the audit, we obtained written representation from management over the information provided to us. No significant issues discussed with management to bring to your attention, and Malden and Jenkins is independent with respect to the district. The rest of that document talks about future accounting pronouncements. I'll hit on the first one is compensated absences and how we account for compensated absences. That was actually implemented in the current year. However, based on how the district was previously accounting for it with their policies and procedures, there really wasn't a significant impact as far as that implementation goes. Some other entities that we audit have had significant impacts implementing that standard, but just due to the policies and procedures that the district had, it really didn't impact you significantly. The other one that I'll point out that will be in effect for the 2026 fiscal year end is GASB 103 with respect to financial model reporting improvements. This will actually impact the district's financial statements for 2026, not in how we account for anything, but more so where it's displayed within the on the income statement within the financial statement, as well as management's going to be asked to beef up management's discussion and analysis a little bit to comply with that future standard. That's the result. The basis for my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the audit process, the required communications that I went through, or anything within the financial statements that you had questions on.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Daniel?
I just have one question.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Daniel, we perform these each and every year. How often or this may be for Tom, how often do we perform something similar more to like a forensic audit? I mean, I understand the compliance audits are generally anywhere between 97 and 99% accurate as far as it comes to compliances. And I know we have an above, especially the amount of grants they have to move around and make sure they're staying where they're at.
So we do not perform a forensic audit as part of the financial statement audit process. I'm not aware that the district has had one performed.
What we have, Commissioner, is when the Federal Transit Administration comes in or the state DOT comes in, their review, they will do what they call an expanded review module, and they will pick something.
Yeah, they take something out of there.
So it could be ADA, it could be finance, it could be, they pick it, they don't tell us till we're there.
That's
We have had expanded review modules selected at finance, for example, just randomly, so we have had them. There was one time in the last 15 years since I've been here where there was a concern that was brought forward about cash handling on one of our services. And so we did ask, I believe it was Daniel or the prior auditors, to look at our cash handling processes and procedures to make sure that that was accurate. We found, the investigation found that the theft of dollars was unfounded. However, that deep dive did expose that typically we have two individuals who sign off on the deposit slips. And over a 1-year period, Rhonda, I believe there were 2 deposit slips that only had one person on them with the bank or 2. So we remedied that, but awesome. We do have those expanded review modules, and if anything's ever reported, we work with Ron. I don't believe it was Daniel's firm.
No.
Cash handling issue, it was the prior firm.
Thank you. Anything else for the auditors?
About it.
Do you know anything? Do you want to wrap up with anything or?
No, we just obviously appreciate the opportunity to serve as your auditors, and the audit process doesn't stop here. So don't feel hesitant to reach out if you have any questions between now and when we get started on the next year's audit.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move into Rhonda's report and requests for approval items, and we'll go to item 4A. Which is page 5.
I want to say that on the audit report, page 49, we had an unmodified opinion, which is a clean audit.
You said that first. Daniel said that first, Rhonda.
I just want to reaffirm.
She wants to write it into the minutes.
Exactly.
She wants that in the minutes. Emblazoned.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right, Rhonda.
Agenda item 4A. I think I'm ahead. Page 5. Request approval to purchase 6 23-foot E450 turtle top vehicles. The funding is available on FTA 5307 CRISA, FL 2024-037, and FTA 5307 CARES, BOCC 2021. The requested vehicles will be utilized to purchase paratransit buses. They will replace the current vehicles that are near their useful life. The 6 Ford E450 vehicles are available under the TRIPS contract. TRIPS number 22-CA-B-LF-ABC via ABC Bus Parts. Each vehicle costs $102,600 with a total cost of $1,035,600. This is, and I think you should have pictures of the bus.
I think we're working on a sample picture. Do we have a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion while we look for if we don't have a picture, we can email it out later. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Are these vehicles, are they additional, or are they gonna go ahead and cover a couple of other
Excellent question. The replacement vehicles,
replacement?
it's the next agenda item you'll see for disposing of asset sizes.
Yeah. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move to item 4B, asset disposal.
Okay. Request approval to dispose of 5 vehicles that have some useful life in years and or mileage, generating costly repairs or limited use. The district is proposing to dispose of these vehicles based on the FTA Administrative Circular 5010 or legislation 49 USC. The vehicle shall be disposed of through a competitive bid process upon receipt of the replacement units. If the items cannot be sold, we would reassess them as scrap according to the district's asset disposal policy. You'll see the list of the vehicles at the bottom. And we have two vehicles, 704 and 705.
Yes. So Commissioner Coney, as you are new to the board, and we talked about this in your board member orientation, but for all the board members, I would just like to point out, if you look at unit 704 and 705, they're 2005 30-foot Gillig roll floor buses. Those are our large buses. And then compare that to 1079, which is also a large bus. You may notice that the life and ULM, the average miles on those vehicles, is extremely high. These were buses that our former maintenance director, who came from Lynx, was able to purchase for $1. We spent approximately $180,000 putting in a new engine and a new transmission. Gave them a 4-year, 100,000-mile useful life. That was simply a target that the Citrus Connection had set because there was no standard for this. And we got 5.6 years out. So a really good return on taxpayer investment.
Almost 1 million miles.
And almost 1 million miles. So this is not something that Lynx continues to do, but we benefited at a time that was much, much needed. And I'd like to thank Joe Cheney, our former maintenance director, and the board for taking the risk on that. This is not something that transit agencies typically do, but it really worked out well. And so there's a real compare and contrast there between 704 and 705 and what is typical, which is 1079.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the asset disposal. Any questions, comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All right, Four Corners grants.
The next agenda item is 4C. Request approval to approve the 2026-2028 H8, I'm sorry.
No, that's my bad.
Approval of the 2026-27 FTA section 5307 and 5339 super grant application and corresponding resolution for the Four Corners UZA. Section 5307 will be utilized to assist with operating and preventative maintenance expenses. The district is requesting total funding in amount of $152,734 with a local match of $63,200, along with transportation development credits of $5,266. Section 5339 will be used to assist with capital equipment expenses. The district is requesting $6,684 in total funding. FTA funding is $5,347 with a local match of $1,337. This is an approval item for the application.
We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rhonda, remind everybody what UZA stands for.
Urban zoning area.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Is this a state? Is it?
This is federal.
Or what is
It's
it?
federal.
Federal?
Then we match.
And then we match it?
Yes.
Four Corners is absolutely exploding.
Commissioner Santiago, I believe that you're part of a Four Corners working group.
Yes.
In that area. So we have the Lakeland urbanized area that we've always received federal awards for. When we merged with the county, we took over the Winter Haven urbanized area. And the population density in the Point Siena Four Corners area hit. And so we received, thanks to Nicole, it's about what, 3% of that total urbanized area falls within Polk County. And that's what that working group is looking at. It's how do we divvy up those funds and what do we do in that area? This is part of it.
Madam Chair, if not, Marvin, I'd like to be more involved in that conversation with the Four Corners and those grants and how it's dispersed, because you're right. It has grown leaps and bounds, and Four Corners. I don't know if you saw the map now where the Four Corners radius is at, okay, because it's not all the way at Davenport. That used to be the transportation model. Now it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talk going on about the Four Corners. And I like to be more involved with that so that I can report it.
Absolutely.
to
We can
the
interface you with
commissioners.
us.
We have 4 commissioners, Lake, Orange County, Osceola, and Polk County, they get together at least every other month to talk about.
On the next item is Poinciana, so it'll tie in.
Perfect.
And then go to the other side.
Any other questions or comments on this item?
Yeah.
Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to page number 10 and look at the Poinciana EZA grant application.
This is the Federal Transit Administration, section 5307, 5309, Poinciana UZA grant application. Request approval for the 2026-27 section 357 grant application and corresponding resolutions in the Poinciana UZA area. The 5307 will be utilized to assist with providing operating and preventative maintenance expenses. The district is requesting total funding in the amount of $374,919 with a local match of $155,139, along with transportation development credits for $12,928. Section 5339 will be utilized to assist with capital equipment expenses. The district is requesting $16,490 in total funding. FTA funding is $13,192 with a local match of $3,298. This is an approval.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion for approval.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Coney. Any questions on this? And just for the record, it's similar to our city work that we have to approve the grant. Applying for and then receiving the grants, and we're happy to receive money from other agencies to support our work. Any questions? All right, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We will move on to Nicole McCleary, Bartow MOD. That's page 12. Thanks, Rhonda.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
And board members, today, excuse me, today I want to present you the Bartow MOD Mobility on Demand project for approval. So before I begin that, I want to share with you a little bit about what the project is so that you have a good understanding. So the Bartow CRA actually approached us about the MOD project. We're partnering with them on this project. And really what we are going to do is provide mobility on demand service within the CRA area. So this is a 2.5 mile area. We'll have one vehicle, and right now, as it stands, you should be able to get to anywhere within the CRA area within 10 to 12 minutes. How customers would use this is they would call the mobility on demand number or use an app, and then they would request the ride. They can request the ride same day. So it's a little bit different than our paratransit and PD service. You request the ride same day, and the vehicle would come to you and drop you off anywhere within the zone. There are 3 areas outside of the zone, or not 3 areas, 3 points outside of the zone that customers can request a ride from to the zone or from the zone to those areas. And that includes the courthouse, the library. What was the third one? Anyone remember?
On page 14
Yep,
on your online packet, so you have the packet, the PowerPoint in front of you. If you scroll to page 14 in the packet, you'll see the points of interest outside the zone, the public library, the civic center, the housing authority, and then inside the zone is a list in orange, Aldi, Bartow Regional, Boys and Girls Clubs, etc.
Yes. So, thank you, Mayor.
You also probably have a hard copy.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
So really, this is exciting, right? Because this works as a TNC service, so similar to Uber or Lynx. The pilot is for 3 years. We have contracted with them for, well, we will contract with done for 3 years and hope to extend that, which should really give us a good idea of how well this will work in the area. The hours for the service are Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 7, and Saturdays, 7 to 3. So you may be wondering, what's the cost of this? Well, for the first year, it's just over 213,000, and that includes the cost of a vehicle, which is a Chrysler LX that is ADA compliant. So that is more of a minivan type vehicle. And then the total cost is just over 499,000. I want to give you the exact amount here.
499,600.75.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
APA Chrysler Voyager.
Yes.
And that's over 3 years.
And that's over 3 years. That's correct. So when you're looking at the PowerPoint, the first year cost is a little bit higher because it does include that cost of the vehicle. Okay. So with that, I would like to ask approval for the Bartow MOD project. We are anticipating to launch in late May.
And just for board members, to make you aware, I think, I'm sure Santiago is aware, but we do an agenda study, the senior team and I, before each meeting, like the day before or earlier in the week. So we walked through this yesterday. And it's a really great PowerPoint. I'm sorry, we had to reboot everything we own online. This meeting, which it's always, that happens to me at the city all the time where something's not up to speed. So I
know
I know. It's never it just always happens. You go through it the day before and everything's fine, and then you sit down and do it the morning of and it's not working. But just to walk through it really quick again for everybody to see it up close, those are the outside of the zone, or points of interest inside the zone. So sorry, the long list. So you can see, you know, groceries, medical, governmental, things like that, schools for everybody to access. It's a really thorough list. And then outside, those are anchor institutions too, between the Civic Center, the library, and the Housing Authority. Do we have a motion to approve?
I don't think we need it, but I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. What questions do we have? Yes,
Is this
Commissioner
replacing
Santiago.
any program in that area, or this is?
Is this a replacement program? Is what
Well,
Santiago asked?
Totally new?
Man, this is a new program for this area. Yes.
Why the difference in names, like MOD and?
So mobility on demand, because you're gonna call for the service or you're gonna use the app to request the service versus say like a squeeze that we have right now, which would be a specific route that you would wait for the vehicle to come and pick you up.
So Commissioner Santiago, this is very similar to, you may remember the Smart Shuttle. When you were first elected in Winter Haven, where folks would call up
Right.
and it would serve a specific geographic area. And then we would take them within Winter Haven. That was a federal grant. This is locally funded. So this is a kind of a new service, it is a new service for the Citrus Connection.
Okay.
So fixed route, you wait at stops. ADA, you have to apply. And it's within 3/4 of a mile bubble. We have our micro transit, now mobility on demand. So imagine it's going to be a separate phone number. You'll call, the dispatcher will say, get the booking information. And then you'll be given that ride time and they'll pick you up. When you're ready to be picked up, you can call or a return trip and you can do that. So imagine a day where there's a mobility on demand in Bartow, there's one in North Lakeland, there's one in South Lakeland, there's one in Winter Haven, there's one in Davenport. You wouldn't call the greater system and have to navigate the entire Citrus Connection system. You're just calling your mobility on demand dispatcher to get your service.
So this one in Bartow is a pilot study to see how it goes?
It's a 3-year.
And then we will expand to other areas?
Hopefully, this will be very similar to the squeeze. I hearken back to Commissioner Lindsay. We lay out the buffet of options and cities say, so this will be the first of its kind. Effectively, the Smart Shuttle was the first, but it was so long ago. So this will be the first of its kind, and I want to thank the team in working with the Bartow CRA for the funding. You'll notice it's a 3-year agreement. To be candid, we did not want to run into a squeeze situation where we're running the squeeze for a year in Bartow and that went away. The 3 years will give us the soak time on this, and I'm confident in Erin and her team and Donovan Tinsley that we'll get the marketing out there really well for them.
Yeah, Commissioner Cooney.
So this is a test in Bartow, but we're already doing it in North Lake,
We are not, we could do it,
but we could. Okay.
for example, right?
So that would be the
Correct.
possible follow-up.
You could do it in other cities. You could take a larger city like Lakeland and have different mobility on demand,
Different CRAs.
different CRAs, those types of things. The big difference is because it's geographically constrained and it's a smaller area, you want to have that booking and that experience be very, very streamlined, because the idea is that you call and get the ride when you need it.
So is this model being used any place
Yes,
else
sir.
in the
Yeah.
state or country?
There have to be other.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
so PSTA uses a model similar to this. There's many agencies that are using a model like this. Yes.
And this is a good footprint for us to try.
Yeah, I think so. It's the size of it will really help us figure out how many operators we need, how many vehicles we need, right? Because this is a pretty small size, and we'll see what kind of demand we get and things like that.
And we're starting out with one vehicle.
One vehicle, yes, sir. So if we look at the Smart Shuttle as a past experience, it would book up pretty early in the morning because the demand was so high. I believe Marcia, was it about 9:15? By about 9:15, and we typically book up. So these are, once they find out, these are committed users who really enjoy using it. So we'll expand as the need is needed and work with the locals on finding the funding.
Any other questions?
It's great.
Yes, I think it's a good pilot test. All right, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm gonna interject really quick because I am gonna have to scoot in less than 10 minutes, but when we're talking about legal services, I know Ben and I haven't had a chance to talk, but we're getting ready, although we don't want Ben to go anywhere, but he's gonna retire. So we have to have a conversation.
Not retire.
Oh, you're not retiring, you're just going, we're just
sunsetting.
sunsetting.
From the transit district.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes, that's what I mean. So anyway, we're going to, I think we need to consider either continuing to have, we're gonna RFP or RFQ it out, like having legal service externally, but I'd like to task staff with looking to see if even bring someone on internally, kind of like we have at the city of Lakeland or at the county, that opportunity. So I don't know if y'all are open to that or want to talk about that, if that might be an option, but I just wanted to throw that out there and then say it for the record and we can discuss it later, but I think we should probably consider that.
Just if I may add two
Sure.
cents, yes, Tony and I talked about this, and I think that's a great idea, honestly, from my experience and with regard to everything that needs to be done, I think that's a good matter to consider.
Yeah.
To have somebody in a house.
Yeah, there's so much institutional knowledge in Ben's brain. We would
I know.
prefer for you.
Well, I'm not gonna go away. You can always call me.
Is that on record?
Yeah, I think he's been.
Here we go, Ben.
255-7930.
Well, we appreciate you, but,
We do.
and we appreciate the lead time too, because it's something that we've been talking about for a while, so it's not a surprise or it's something we've been kind of working for. All right, with that being said, we'll move on to item 6, which is the progress on our Fox project 20, page 20. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. So this is a short progress update on Project Fox, a past approval item that was approved a few months ago. Project Fox is a standalone mobile application that riders can use to track the position of squeeze carts live and receive accurate estimated times of arrivals. It will also give us much needed data on the status and efficiency of the squeeze for reporting. And to achieve this, we partnered with Florida Polytechnic University to develop an application as well as the devices that are going to go on our squeeze carts. So phase one the project consists of 2 phases. Phase one, we've already began and we're well into it. Multiple carts are able to be tracked with the prototype that they've created. Oh, I'm sorry. This is first, let's meet the team. So we've got Edward. Edward Kim is the civil engineer professor who is first point of contact at Florida Poly. He also keeps the students in line and make sure they make good progress. Professor Caleb, assistant professor Caleb, he helps the students with any technical questions and all. We've got 3 students total, 2 computer science, 1 computer engineering, and then Noah and I as Citrus Connection leads. Phase one consists, we're able to track multiple carts with the prototype that they've made. Several stops and points were created to simulate real microtransit routes for the campus, the Florida Poly campus. The driving time and data from each cart was condensed into a diagram, which we can showcase next. Right now, this is what they have so far. They have a map with points that correlate with some of the point of interests on Florida Poly campus, like the gym and all. And next slide, please. This is the raw data that the prototype collects. Right now, the data is transferred to a database, and they're working on having the database communicate with the map. Our plans for the future include a pilot that is going to happen in April, where we're going to install some prototypes onto some of our squeeze carts and collect some data in order to get more accurate estimated times of arrivals. The mobile application will soon be in development shortly after we collect that data. Right now, they're also working on a competition to recruit more team members and build a team for phase 2. So that we have more success with the project. That's it. Any questions?
That's a really thorough presentation. Thank you so much. Any questions on the update? We like getting project updates too, so thank you for doing that. It's really helpful to all of us. And Tom, do you want to hit any highlights?
I'm just excited. I think that the chair has an agreement. We forgot to have the signature line added. But the Citrus Connection will own the product once it is complete. We also will have the sole ability to patent the product, as this will be unique to microtransit. And so it's very exciting. It's neat to partner with Florida Polytechnic. Dr. Kim ultimately wants to create a Center for Urban Transportation Research, very similar to what happens at USF with Cutter here in Polk County. And this would be the first project of many with the Citrus Connection, with the Lakeland Linder Airport, with Chuck Barnaby. So we're really breaking ground. The Achilles heel to the squeeze, the mayor told us yesterday, she had a similar experience, is that although we hope that consistent frequency, due to carts being full or drivers needing to go from one area to another, people can experience excessive wait times or see carts heading 2 carts or 3 carts heading northbound, 2 carts heading southbound. And that can be frustrating. I've experienced it, the mayor has experienced it, our staff has experienced, our patrons have experienced it. So this will allow individuals to see where those carts are in real time and be able to have a better experience. And then eventually, phase 2, phase 3 would allow the squeeze to move to mobility on demand. So imagine a day where there are no routes, but you're picking from a set of drop-down menus in an area, and you're picking, you want to go from Florida Southern College to 1961, and the cart is being hailed through this app. And it will be a standalone app. So you won't have to navigate a website. You'll just have it right there. It'll be the squeeze, partnering with Florida Poly. It comes up, very simple use.
Awesome.
And the pilot starts in
April.
what? What time in April? The end of April, middle of April,
Middle of April.
middle of April?
Yeah.
And no, Commissioner Lalonde's not allowed to come out and drive the Florida Hall. We have liability.
That's
Here.
We don't
I
have
know.
an attorney.
I know.
Has a training.
The attorney has not approved that. Thank
Put
you
it in
so
my-
much. That was great. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Not this house. It's not big enough.
Oh. Hey, he whipped around that parking lot. and We took pictures today.
Not too bad.
Not safe. Agenda item 7A, that is page 29. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. This is item 7 for board approval. We recommend board approve the award of contract 26006 for engineering plan design work to Kimberly Horn in regards to removal and replacement of umbrella shelters in an amount not to exceed $182,500. Polk County has 15 single pole canopy style umbrella shelters in which Lambtud wants to begin the process of removing the shelters and installing standard gable roof 4-pole PA02 shelters at these stops. The first task in removing and replacing the umbrella shelters is to develop engineering plans. The FDOT requires approval of engineering plans for shelters that are on state roads. Thus, we request board approval to use Kimberly Horn to develop these plans. Some of the advantages of replacing umbrella shelters with standard shelters. The standard shelters provide fuller roof coverage. The side panels provide significantly better protection from wind and rain while the passengers are waiting for the buses. They provide better shade protection from the sun throughout the day. They support ADA compliance. They improve support for any infrastructure, including lighting. They provide more seating capacity, and they provide a standardization of amenities. And also importantly, they provide a consistency in the appearance of the shelters throughout the district. If you look in your board packet, I included a photo of a sample single pole umbrella shelter. As you look at the picture, you will see that the single pole umbrella shelter does not have very much coverage as relates to the elements because there are no side panels. There's not really much seating capacity. There's not any surface area for map cases or lighting. And aesthetically, they do not blend in with the rest of the shelters that we want throughout the county. I also attached a picture of a sample of a replacement standard PA02 shelter. Note the gable style roofs, the side panels for protection from the elements. There are areas for map cases and lighting. You notice the improved seating area. And finally, again, they provide consistency in the appearance of shelters throughout the area. On to the funding. The funding will be FTA 5307 grants that are specifically earmarked for the removal and replacement of umbrella shelters. Grant money can only be used for the umbrella replacement project. On November 7, 2025, the district issued competitive negotiation solicitation 26006. The Lambton Evaluation Committee recommends award to Kimberly Horn as the highest ranked firm of the solicitation. With that, I open the floor to any questions.
This is an approval item. You have questions, Commissioner Long?
Yeah, thank you, Board Chair. All right, so like, this looks like a very familiar place off of Central Avenue to me. When I guess this is the Boys and Girls. Sort of looks like it.
The single pole
umbrella.
photo,
Yeah,
that is the one off of Florida Avenue. Actually, that's one we're not going to continue serving.
So we're gonna go from the single umbrellas to these stationaries. Now, this is just a replacement thing. Are we talking about incorporating additional shelters in other areas of high traffic?
So this is only to replace the existing ones that we are currently using. There are some umbrella shelters that we're not using that we're not going to be replacing. But
For this agenda item, sir,
Okay.
we actively pursue and receive grant funds every year for transit shelters and the expansion of transit shelters.
So this,
This-
I guess what I'm trying to say is that this grant is strictly for the replacement, not for the advancement or of any more further.
This agenda item is solely to go to remove the mushroom shelters
Yeah.
and go to a standard shelter only.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with the mushroom shelter?
They'll be disposed of.
They can't be reused at areas or locations that have no
We
shelter?
would not want to.
That's fine, I just wanted to know.
What you see above unfortunately is below. And so the entire ballast is approximately the size of that umbrella.
I got you.
Uh,
It's not much.
a decade ago, we were able to just remove the shelter. But as environmental standards have advanced, what we put in, we're now responsible for taking. Yes, sir, this is just to replace.
I
unlike
guess you
with-
know where I'm going. This is like so many different areas
Yeah.
along our main arterial roads.
Yes,
So
sir.
South Florida Memorial Boulevard, where there are no shelters. Now, I know that we've had some opportunities with the homeless and stuff in some of those areas, but there's still many moms and
I can promise you this does not come at this agenda item does not come at the cost of expanding. And
I just wanted to clarify.
Absolutely, I can understand.
Yeah.
And
Commissioner
assuming
County.
we're not gonna do these umbrellas.
Correct.
The
Yeah.
umbrella shelters
Going away.
haven't been done
Got
for
it.
decades.
Yeah. Commissioner County.
Thank you. Considering the area we live in and we have June through end of November coming up, is there a night swim that these are designed to take or anything like that?
For hurricane standards.
Whether you build a Burger King or a bus stop. In Florida, it has to meet hurricane standards. So the current shelter needs, is it Cat 2?
It's got to, I think so, it's a type of Miami hurricane standard. That standard is our scope of work for shelters. And all of our shelters meet all
Why
that.
we
Yeah.
have to have engineering. Okay,
Correct.
flat things up everywhere. They have to be here.
And Commissioner Coney, you can see there's solar panels on the top of our current shelters that activates the lighting.
All right, this is an approval item. Do we have a motion to approve?
So
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Motion carries. Approved. Thanks, Todd. Now we'll go to 8A, another approval item, and it's Marcia.
There's no presentation, so this is a request for us to migrate from Mitel Ring Central, which is our current phone system. The change is pretty much at oranges to oranges. In an effort to be good stewards of taxpayers' dollars, we did find some cost savings by migrating some of our, phone systems from a hard desk phone to soft phone where, reps can use their cell phone or their computer to communicate. However, we did see some advantage to migration by AI conversation. So currently, if I have to listen to a recording, I pretty much have to listen to the entire recording to kind of hear what's going on with the call. But the advantage with this system will allow us to have AI conversation, which means it will translate the phone call into a document, and I can key in on the conversation, so it'll strictly time where we have to do a phone call review. And it also allows us to have some real-time analytics. But the biggest thing is that we're gonna save about $1,000 a month, with cost savings about $12,000 a year. For a 3-year savings of about $37,000. And I stand for question.
This is an approval item. Let's
It
get
is.
ahead and get the approval, and then we can go into discussion.
wish to approve.
Second.
Okay, discussion, questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate that. And Tom, it's your,
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. My report is short today. I apologize that I had the sidebar with Attorney Darby. I'd just like to clarify that what I was seeking his advice and counsel on was, and just to clarify for the public, the attorney for the district does not work for the CEO. The attorney for the district works for the board of directors. And so I just wanted to clarify with Mr. Darby that what we are being directed to do is explore the possibility of having the attorney be an employee of the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District that would report directly to the board of directors. I cannot add headcount beyond authorized headcount. That is something the board would do. So after talking with Mr. Darby, my understanding is what we will do is draft up a job description and post it and explore what that would look like but we would not hire anyone without the approval and discussion of the board of directors first, as that would be your decision, not ours. So I just wanted to be clear that what Tony and I are tasked with doing is developing a job description, posting, and seeing what's out there.
And I'll
That's it.
help, and I'll help with that. I'll help you with that.
This is just a brand new model for us if we head in that direction, as Ben's been the attorney from literally day zero. Excellent. And then on that same vein, the chair and I discussed it yesterday, and the senior staff and I have started discussions. As we continue to add micro transit, whether it be the expansion of the squeeze from Lakeland to Bartow to Lake Wales to now we have mobility on demand. We have the Tiger Town Express. We have Light Up Bonnet Springs. I can go on, Sun and Fun. Mobility on the micro transit services and mobility transit services are becoming a bigger and bigger part of our portfolio. And so I'm going to look at reorganizing the organization so that we're not treating micro transit, mobility on demand, and all of these services as incidental to operations, but how does that look? So that's not a reorganization. It's not something that's required by the board of directors, but it'll impact senior staff, looking at whose responsibilities are what, the chief operations officer, those types of things. So I just wanted to let you know that's something that we've discussed and we're going to look at as a team as to how do we treat this new line of business as not just paratransit, fixed route, and how we do that. The employee engagement survey is back. We're meeting with Dr. Ross this afternoon. That will be on the agenda next month. The results appear to be good. We saw some laggards in the 1 to 4 year, but that report will be coming forward. Tiger Town Express is finished up its second full year. The first year we did a pilot of rides and we did 6 games and we had 247 rides. Last year in 2025, we had 1,302 rides for the entire season. And this year we did 2,625 rides. So I'd like to thank Paul and his team again for a fantastic service delivery of that. You have trading cards there of all of our great drivers, and Tyrus and the union did a fantastic job of delivering that service. Sun and Fun is coming up. So we're ready for Sun and Fun and the Sun and Fun Express. This will be our first year. We've been partnering with Gene Conrad to make sure everything goes well. I would like to clarify, and I've spoken with each of you individually. We have had some challenges with Lakeside Village in regards to their view being that if you're going to park there, that you need to be a patron of Lakeside Village. And we don't want anyone towed. And so what we are going to do is continue to serve the Lakeside Village hotels. Paul and his team are going to put notices in the map case at the shelter on Lakeside Village, directing individuals to head to the Lakeside Village hotels to be picked up and dropped off. They own their own dirt and they own the parking spaces that are there, so folks can park there. We had always anticipated that many people would be getting off from Sun and Fun, the campers, heading to Lakeside Village to shop. They can still go ahead and do that at the Lakeside Village hotels, but we're not going to be serving that stop because we don't want people to park there and get towed.
Good job by Sean Strauss and his team by getting the sign.
They were excellent. They were excellent to work with. What Commissioner Lalonde's referring to is the LPGA had a major event and they used Lakeside Village solely as the area to park. And then they had charter buses run from the back near the Cobb Theater to the golf course. That conversation, unfortunately, was occurring. Can't laugh out loud. That conversation was occurring at the same time that we were asking them to do something at Sun and Fun. The scope's completely different, in my professional opinion. The LPGA was telling people this is the only place you can park and we're going to bus you in. That was never the Citrus Connections intent with Lakeside Village. to say, or anywhere to say, this is the only place you can park. Mr. Conrad's not saying you can't park at Sun and Fun. It's an option. But I think that's the optics that the Delaware company took. And so there was a bit of an overreaction, I'm just speaking frankly, but we don't want anyone towed. So this meets that need. We didn't have any issues during the Tigertown Express. And most of the ridership came out of the hotel. So we're gonna get through this year. It'll be very successful. Obviously, we want most people, we love Lakeside Village, but we want most people staying on the bus past Lakeside Village and heading downtown. The Lakeland Downtown Development Authority and Julie Townsend are ready to greet them, as are Amy Wiggins and the Chamber of Commerce. So we want them to really have that excellent experience when they get off the bus.
Is there another location that
Nicole, can you go over
using the
the routes? Or just the general description?
Yes, so there's a few locations, you'll be able to take it from the joinery, from the RP Funding Center lot that we use for, Tiger Towns, and. Well, in Woodside. Yes.
We also stop in the terminal as well, so our usual riders, if they are visiting or going to some time, they can also use our terminal.
Okay.
So Tom, and in that area, if my memory serves me correctly, either three or four hotels. So you have agreement with all of those hotels, or
Paul, you want to talk about our relationship with hotels?
More markets.
All right.
It did work with the hotel.
Kaylee, you want to talk about the hotels?
Yes, we've talked to each of the hotels, about, that we're gonna stop there and, individuals get on and off our buses there. They're all in agreement of it. They also take flyers and everything else, so they can hand it out to the people that are staying.
Commissioner, the hotels will effectively be sold out because of Sun Fun, right? So they absolutely understand the benefit economically and for their overall customer experience in staying there, that they can say there's an express bus running, this is a reason to stay here, and they're not having to pay for that at all. And I'd like to again just say for the record that we all feel with the Citrus Connection that same economic opportunity is going to be there for every business at Lakeside Village. It's the closest place to grab something to eat, to have a night out for the 200,000 people who come to visit over. However, again, I think when looking through it through the optics of the LPGA, there was an over concern from Delaware that we were going to somehow take over every single parking space for a week that Lakeside Village and Richmond seems rolling their eyes. And that just wasn't going to be the case. Paul had pointed out yesterday during senior staff agenda study that folks, as long as he's been here in Lakeland, have met up at Lakeside Village. Just families have met up at Lakeside Village and then carpool in with less cars and have left their cars there for years. So how this is enforceable, and it's not a major fight. I don't want you to be concerned about it. I'm just going on the record as saying we're doing everything we can, because the last thing we want is anyone saying I rode the Citrus Connection, and when I came back, my car wasn't there because it was towed. Yeah, and so we're trying to mitigate that risk.
maybe people, they bump their head this year and the light bulb come back on.
Well, and
That's my thought.
Maybe.
I was thinking more military style when we bumped their head for them.
And Commissioner, we'll have marketing folks out there with cameras, taking pictures of folks getting off the buses, getting off at the hotels, at communities, so that we can share that information and show them what that economic impact is.
For restaurants.
At full restaurants, yes. That's the end of my report.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
A happy Easter,
I
everyone.
think we're
Thanks for celebrating.
done. So anybody else have any other business? Yes,
Thank you, Board Chair.
Sure.
Want to see, I spoke briefly with James and stuff, trying to get a better update where we are with the Central Avenue. I've, of course, received many phone calls from Rebecca Juji and Miss Shirley, her best friend, and we were trying to get a little bit more update. We were talking to James yesterday. They said we got pads, but I'm just trying to fill in the rest of it. It's gonna come to fruition. Because it went from something and complaining to nothing.
For months, correct.
Yeah.
So we spoke with the city, and we did with the city on Monday. Yeah, they said that they are working with COA, Creative Outdoors, so all the permitting has been processed and approved, ready to go for those. So the pads have been laid, it's just for Creative Outdoors, to go ahead and put in the seeding work.
So the city's squared away. We were able to identify all the spots in which we had toured previously. I'm hoping that we took into account the apartment complexes. That we had toured by, there was nothing put in by the apartment complex.
Where the pad was already. poured.
Yes, where the pad was already poured. I guess they had learned later on that even though that pad had been poured, hadn't gone through an approval or a tensile testing, strength testing or whatever.
That wouldn't surprise.
Yeah, and that's really, that's kind of city of Woodland side, right? They
No,
have-
and I understand that completely, so. I guess what I'm trying to say is we're close. At the same point in time, we're still gonna be at the mercy of
Creative Outdoor.
Creative Outdoors.
Right, if the pads are in and cured. I would imagine that in the permit stuff, it's literally them bringing out the stock. And bolting it into the ground.
Is there a way to get an update on that or possibly?
We can push on it, yes, sir. Yeah,
Just, yeah, I like that would push.
yeah, we can push on. it.
Push on that would be.
We can-
Exactly what.
Okay, we can absolutely push on. it.
Thank you.
I know they ordered some ADA seating to ensure ADA benches to ensure that, you know, the seating was fit. I don't know if they've gotten them yet, so I will definitely reach out to them and say, hey, you ordered these, when are they expected?
If you want someone to update the board, that'd be great. For Terry, for Terry's update, we had some issues with the Central Avenue. I'm not sure if you're totally aware, but we had done a tour. He did bring you up.
Yeah.
We're good now. So I'm just sort of leading on and you know who I am talking about, so. She keeps me on my toes.
They gave me a thorough
Good.
presentation.
Very thorough.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Anything else?
No.
You good?
Yeah.
Good. Commissioner, it says nice to have you.
It's great to have Terry on board.
Welcome to this.
Once I figured out where everything was.
This is a wonderful,
Yeah.
board. Yeah, it takes time.
It's the
trust
fire
me.
hydrant for a little bit. We just got used to one, we give you another.
There you go.
Not just finding it.
Yeah, been there.
That should have been part of the orientation, I apologize.
Well, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned. It's 9:32 and everybody drive safely wherever you're going.
Thanks.
See you next meeting. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, staff. Excellent. Don't forget to take your little squeeze.